So what's the power of photography?
Number one, it fixes the image. When you fix the image, it kind of locks it into our memory banks in a very different way than film etches itself in our memory.
What power does photography have? Well, you're asking a draft dodger. I came to Canada in 1968 as a political activist.
I think it's a very powerful medium in shaping our society.
It's subversive. It starts to provide information that brings about an awareness.
I love the fact that everyone can do it. I love that everyone looks at them. I love that we can actually have a conversation about it. What's happening is that with likes and dislikes and Instagram and Snapchat and all of these kinds of things in there, and so the question that you're really asking is, how does something stand out?
As you develop your artwork or you start honing in on the subject matter of your photographs, you're starting to see what your ideas are in the language of visual art.
And if you kind of use your own work as your guide to the next place to go, that can lead to some things that are very new.
If something keeps popping up in your work and you don't pay attention to it, then that's a mistake, because it's trying to tell you something that it's there and it needs to be there.
At a certain point, you stop looking at other work. You start actually looking at your own work and decide where it's taking you.
If you're going to go for something, you oftentimes start out not knowing what it looks like.
Oftentimes, people think that there's a direct line to what you want to do, and it never is a direct line, and it's never easy.
What am I doing here, right? Like, why am I even thinking about this? Is it really worth it?
That you're going to have to possibly do things that you weren't intending to do, but you always try to do things that get you closer to the place you want to be.
The minute that you solve one struggle, then there's another one.
If there's no doubt, you wouldn't do anything.
The thing that gives me the most joy is when I understand that my work actually is making a difference out there. When somebody comes to me after an opening and say, you know, after I saw your work, you know, I decided to pursue a career in art, or I changed my life and now I'm working in an environmental field, then that gives me a lot of joy, and that the work that I'm doing is actually meaningful.
There are all those great moments, for example, when someone comes up to you and said, you know, that piece really changed me. And that kind of blows you away.
That your work represents all of us, and I started to cry. I'm a crier.
It's those small moments that I think that really are the most touching.
Basically always had to have a day job, whether it was teaching or working in a bank. But I did all those things actually to keep on making work. I mean, I make work to be able to come to terms with my world.
What does happen is that I learn from the process. And in learning from the process, I think that I move through the world in a, I hope, more graceful and better manner.
To be an artist is to really, I think in a lot of ways, to be the ultimate risk takers, in that you're not working for a client, you are the client.
I can't think of anything more that I'd want to do. So to answer the question, what does it mean to be an artist? I mean, it means everything.